In this video I'm going to give you an example of Analyse results feature in Web of Science, and we're going to look a little bit at why you might want to do that or what possible uses there could be for this feature. And I'm just going to go straight to the top right here, Analyse results. So you can see here that in the middle we've got a visual analysis, and down the side we have got lots of different options here. So the default one is Web of Science categories. So this is just showing you what categories that Web of Science has placed research in this topic under. The first thing that's important to note is that the usefulness of these analyses may probably depend on how good your search is. For example, if I were interested purely in plastic pollution, as in plastic marine pollution, I probably am going to need to refine this search, because marine pollution could refer to all sorts of different types of marine pollution. So really the thing to do before you analyse your results is to get a decent search. Make sure that you're using Analyse and all your tricks to get as good a search as possible, getting rid of as much stuff that is irrelevant as possible and including as much of the stuff that is relevant as possible before you start. And it's worth remembering as well that if you've put any date settings or limitations on your search, that's going to carry across into here as well. In the center we can change the visualization to a bar graph or a tree map, and you can also change how many results are displaying. But at the bottom you've got the full table here as well, and this is useful because it can give you a little bit more information. So you can see how the totals are calculated here, and you can see, for example, environmental sciences, that's actually 64% of your search results have been categorized into environmental sciences. So let's look at which categories are going to be particularly useful. So if we look at publication years, this could be useful if you want to get an idea of what's being published when. And we can see here that for these topics, even though there's publications going quite far back, actually it's relatively recently you can see that it's really boomed, the number of articles that are being published, and this could be maybe attributed to the popularity of this topic following TV series such as Blue Planet, etc. If we go then to organisations, we've got organisations enhanced here. If I scroll down a little bit, you can also see that there's organisations at the bottom. This is a list of organisations taken from your search results, as in the organisations whose researchers are publishing on this topic. Because the information is taken directly from your search results, sometimes the organisation names are duplicated, as in there could be lots of different organisation names in there, but actually they're all part of a bigger organisation with a different name, or maybe the name has changed over time. So the bottom organisations on the left hand side is, I think, the raw list, and up here organisations enhanced is Web of Science's attempt to deduplicate those results. So always use the enhanced version over the other version, but bear in mind that there may still be some duplications. The reason this could be useful, maybe you just want to know which institutions are publishing on these topics. Maybe you want to get an idea of where your next career move could be, or where you want to pursue a qualification or similar. So you can see here actually we're not doing too badly on this list. University of Plymouth, 124. It's 1.5% of the documents globally in those topics belong to us or are from our researchers. If you consider the top result there is 3.4%, that's not bad at all, is it? So let's move down to the next one, funding agencies. Maybe you want to see where the money is. If you want to get funding on this topic, who's paying for this research? And you can see here that the second biggest result is European Commission. We've also got UKRI there, and you can see a bit of that duplication there as well in here, because we can see that NERC, Natural Environment Research Council, is listed separately from UKRI, even though technically it's part of the same organisation. If we scroll down, we can see the full list there, so that could give you some ideas of maybe where you could get some money to do your research. If we go to authors, you can find out which authors are publishing the most papers that came up in your search results. And this could give you an idea of different authors to follow or to research a bit more about. Or maybe even, who could be offering PhDs. I don't know. If we go to source titles, that basically means journal titles. So if you want to know which journals are publishing the most papers on the topics that you searched for, this is where you can find that out. And we can see here Marine Pollution Bulletin seems to be publishing the most papers. This could give you some ideas of some journals, not just for publication, but also to follow as well. Meeting titles could give you similarly some ideas for different conferences that you could put your paper into, but also some different conferences that you could go and look up to find some more information about your topic. And then countries or regions, maybe not quite so useful, but if you want to know which countries are publishing the most on this topic, you can look it up here and that can give you some ideas. And it's important to note that if you do find an analysis that's particularly useful, choose your visualization, whether it's a tree map or a bar graph, choose how many results you want to show, and then if you click the download button, that will download a JPEG to your computer, and then you can then copy and paste that into whichever document you need to.